Please raise your hand and Rosie will call on you.
Claire.
Hi. So we currently don't have an official EVP. So how do you, like, I feel like it comes with challenges of not really knowing about that, so how do you think you're going to overcome those challenges?
So I have been able to see what the EVP of last year did do. And sorry, the question was?
Just like, because like we currently don't have an EVP, so you don't have like a kind of like a role model or someone to look up to, like as an example.
Yeah.
So how do you think you're going to overcome those obstacles and not, since we currently don't have an EVP?
I think that even though we don't have an official EVP, we still do have the people who have taken the step forward to fulfill those roles, and I think just having those people as an example has been really, really great to see, and just being able to see how all these programs are handled, especially with not having an official EVP this year. It's still been really great to be able to see how our requirements are being fulfilled and just how we're still participating in Alianza. And yeah, so even though we don't have an official one this year, I still do look up to the people who have taken up those spots. Hey, Jan.
In your platform, you mentioned a lot of work with CCC, which is great, but as external vice president, you also serve as a representative of the council. So I was wondering what your plans are in maintaining and strengthening the relationship with the council.
Yeah, so I would honestly have to look back on previous EVP documents and just things that are in previous drives to see how EVPs in the past have done this. I think just going off of what they have done in the past, since we still do have connections with them, I would still like to use that kind of as a reference to go off of it. And yeah, I think that's it. But I can clarify more if you need me to.
The responsibilities and duties of external vice president are very time sensitive. So I was wondering if you could please describe your time management skills, especially to ensure that you are fulfilling the duties and responsibilities that you must ensure for Fusion during stressful times.
Yeah, so I have actually had experience with putting too much onto myself last year as a first year when I was an intern. I actually ended up doing so bad that I was on academic probation, but since then I have really gotten, on it, and I haven't fallen back into that yet, especially even this year with having, I would say, even double the things that I had last year at that time. So I do have a pretty good hold on time management, and when it does come to time-sensitive things, there is definitely, I do definitely try to make sure that I'm on top of things on a day-to-day basis, and not kind of letting things fall through if I miss it. So usually if I see something important, I'll just do it right then and there, and just make sure that everything that is time sensitive is completed as soon as I am made aware of it. Alan?
So EVP is a large time commitment, not just within Fusion, but also with our external organizations meetings and other events. So if you were to be EVP, what other time commitments will you have next year aside from Fusion?
So besides Fusion and besides school, the only thing that I would really have is participating with the other cultural orgs or the other Alianza orgs here on campus. So I would be trying to attend their general meetings as much as I can, as well as continuing to participate in Kawa's Pack-In, which only really goes from winter quarter to mid-spring quarter. So that's pretty much it in terms of my time commitments next year. Jaden?
Do you have any plans or ideas for future collaborations with other orgs that we have not collaborated with yet?
Yeah, so in terms of ones that we haven't collaborated with, it does depend on each individual org to see if they're more of a cultural based or if they're more like engineering or STEM based. It definitely is kind of a specific thing that depends on each organization. But one thing I would like to do more of is having activities that allow general members to actually really get to know each other more. So for example, I would say like, for example, like with the Confusion collab that we had, we kind of just numbered people off. So how I would kind of implement this idea is like having sections and basing people off of a common interest or shared similarity that they have, so that it's not just kind of like random people, but it's like something that gets them started to be able to talk to. On top of that, a lot of the organizations here on campus do have similar programs. Like a lot of other orgs also have study hours, or also have resume workshops or networking events. And I feel like we have a lot of opportunity there to reach out and do those same things together in a shared space. So that way just our general members can have more time to get to know each other and be in spaces together and kind of just form those connections on a deeper level as well. Daniel?
What are some like traits or what are some like traits that you look for in any external organizations that you want to find value in collaborating with?
Honestly, just the fact that a lot of the organizations, or all the organizations on campus are student-led, I think that's really, like, that's already a really strong thing to base off of, because these people are taking time out of their days already on top of school to hold these spaces for their members and invite their members in. So honestly, just having organizations that not just have been established for a while already and are continuing to grow, but also having, also seeing people who are starting up brand new things. I think I would really like to reach out to those people and just kind of see what we can form together, I guess. Enzo.
I think on the previous question earlier about what works, I know Fusion has like counterpart works in other colleges. Do you have any plans to increase interaction with other organizations?
Sorry, can you repeat the middle part of the question?
Oh, so Fusion has like counterpart organizations at like UCLA, like a Fusion over there.
Oh, okay.
Do you have any plans to increase interaction with those organizations?
Yeah, so it does depend, because the only one that we've really formed like a strong relations with is PIES at UCLA. So obviously, I'm going to try to maintain that relationship and also see how we were able to find those connections in the past. I know we had a personal connection with PIES, and that's how we started building our relationship every year. So also just trying to reach out to these schools. I've actually this year made a lot of connections with USC, CSUF, and just a lot of other SoCal cultural Filipino orgs here. So I would love to just reach out to as many people as I can and just kind of do it proactively and just go and just look up if there's a cultural STEM org out there. And usually stuff comes up. So by doing that, I can find contact information and just reach out and see if anyone is willing and able to collaborate with us. There.
So from your platform, I feel like a lot of ideas coming from you, like I'm talking about CCC, as well as interacting with other clubs on campus and out of campus. Just like from my experience, like with being as a board member, there's so much we can do within the school year. So what are your like priorities as you
I would say one of my biggest things is to at least collaborate with one or two new organizations. I know that really does depend on how many organizations are willing and able to collaborate with us. But also, like I said, I really do want to push for having Alianza be a stronger organization. Sometimes it does feel like we have the title of sister orgs, but we really don't. We're more like coworkers, you know what I mean? Because it really does seem like that from the past 2 years, that there are still some general members who are active in one organization and know nothing about one of the other. So basically my ultimate goal for next year would be for all of Fusion's general members at least to be able to say that they love Alianza, or at least have a genuine appreciation for it. So yeah.
We have time for one more question.
Hey, Yana.
So as external vice president, we will be interacting with a lot of external orgs, not only like I said, but also elsewhere. If an issue or conflict were to arise between Fusion and said external org, what will you do to mitigate and navigate a conflict situation?
So if it's between Fusion and another org, I would definitely ask the appropriate board members of Fusion to kind of also help me out with hearing it, so that way I can act as a third party, or if that makes sense, like kind of act like someone who is not directly like personally involved with it, so that the board can take care of that aspect and I can genuinely have a sense of what each side has that's going on, and just trying not to put too much of like my personal opinions in it as the person who's trying to make sure I can resolve these conflicts. And yeah, just to be able to get a deeper understanding of what is actually going on and to be able to fully understand both sides' goals and needs and kind of what has been going on in terms of issues.
That concludes our EVP platform. Please give a hand to our candidates.